baby. Oh, hey, good morning. It's VeRAWonica The Foodie Food Girl, and I just hung my clothes out on the line. It's super early, finished walking the dog, prepped some of my veggies, and I'm going to have some friends over for lunch. So what I wanted to have was some veggie burgers. These people are not raw, they're not vegan, they're not even vegetarian. So I wanted to do something that is sort of like meat. So I am going to make raw burgers for them. Now I'm going to put them in my dehydrator, and so by the time they get here, they'll not only be nice and warm, but they'll still be raw because I've kept the dehydrator at 118 degrees or less. So the nutrients will still be in there. So I'm going to go through all the ingredients and why I use them. I'll show you a picture of them, and then I put everything in my food processor, and that's going to go really fast, and then I'll continue. Here are the ingredients that I'm going to be using for my raw burger. Red peppers, Spanish onion, orange zucchini, red or purple beets, celery, and fresh garlic, an entire bud of garlic, soaked walnuts, I've already drained them, and soaked buckwheat seeds. They're so lovely. So this is what's going to make the burger dense, the buckwheat as well as the walnut. Walnut almost simulates meat, which is kind of weird. And I'm getting the red color from the beets, like meat, like hamburger. Anyway, this is what's happening in my kitchen, and it's all gonna go into the food processor. Oh, the other thing that I did was I kept all the seeds, and I'm going to put those in the dehydrator too. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of oil on here, a little bit of salt, and it'll be a really nice snack. So don't throw anything out, use it. And if you don't want to eat it, chances are the squirrels might like it. Okay, so is everybody ready for my Speedy Gonzalez time lapse on putting everything in my food processor? Here we go. Gotta love time lapse. Okay, so I just did all the veggies, and now I've done the nuts and seeds. So now that goes in here as well. Scoop it all in. And I use this pie scraper, which I love, or cake scraper. I think I got it from my mom. I'm not really sure. But I use it for cleaning out all my bowls. I just love it. It's fantastic. It does such a great job. See? And so now what we're going to do is we're going to add some spices. Just grab my mixer here, and I'm just going to toss it. So this is what I'm doing. I hope you can see it. And I love to put in cumin, so I just put in a little bit. You can put in as much as you want. A little bit of salt. I have my herb salt that I make myself, so I put a little bit of salt in here. And then paprika, that's always nice to put in. Maybe a heaping teaspoon. And then the next thing I love to add is herbs. So I went to my garden and I picked some thyme and oregano, and of course rosemary. Rosemary and thyme, they always go together. And then this is celery, and what else do I have? I think that's it. So that's what's gonna go in there as well. I'm just going to put my gloves on because I like to get right in there, and beets, they are a tough color to get off. I love working with beets, but they are messy. So I'm gonna add a little bit more paprika. Again, about another teaspoon. And I'm going to add a little bit more cumin. probably about a total of a teaspoon, and some more salt, maybe 2 teaspoons, and mix that in together. Now I know it doesn't look like a burger now, but it will. I've already cut the herbs. You can see that the herbs are all in here, and wow, it smells so yummy. So I've got the walnuts that I soaked. There's a little bit of a stem, I don't need that. And I soaked the buckwheat seeds. And then what we did was we blended the beets and zucchini, and now I'm adding some olive oil just to make it pliable. And I added a little bit of a Spanish onion, about 1/4 of a Spanish onion, an entire garlic bud, and some celery. Because if I remember correctly, when I used to make meatloaf, I can't even believe I ate meat, I would always add celery, garlic, onion, and of course herbs. So now you can see that it's getting a little sticky, which is great. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm just going to give this a little bit of a, oh, that's nice. I just wanted to feel the texture of it. And if it wasn't so purple, you would think this was meat. Okay, so now it's nice and pliable and sticky. Give it one more toss. And I have left the dehydrator sheets on here because I don't know how much water is going to come out of here or not, but you can just see that I'm making the burgers. I like to make them actually a little bit high, because when they get dehydrated, they really go down, they get really thin. So you can just see that almost looks like a burger. And so this is what I'll do. And I'll let them go into the dehydrator for about 2 to 3 hours, and I'll just check it. So now I'm going to take this off, and I'll be back. So now that I've made my patties, one of the things that I love to use is this tool. I don't even know what it's called, but what I do is I just pat all the way around my burgers, and what it does, it just kind of firms it up a little bit. I just really like it, and it also makes it look tidy. Now, the other thing that you have to understand is I could eat this exactly the way it is, because it is fully raw and it's delicious. But by dehydrating it, I'm gonna have a little bit of a crunch. And again, I wanted to just let my friends know that I can eat some warm food as long as it is raw. And then what I do is I just sort of pat it down, so these really, really look like burgers. And they're super dense. They have superfoods, walnuts, which is great protein, and the buckwheat, which is also protein. And we've got lots of veggies in here. I have a little bit left over, and what I also have a little bit of zucchini left over. So I'm gonna make a rasta, or a raw pasta, from zucchini noodles, and these will be my little, as I call them, beet balls. And because I'm gonna dehydrate them, they're going to be, again, a little bit crunchy, and I don't really care about them being warm. I'll probably have my rasta tomorrow. And I remember I told you about this handy tool. I just love it because I can scoop out and make my bowls pretty clean. And in raw food, especially if it's organic, honestly, you don't want to waste anything. And one of the great things about raw food is you can just use the same bowl for your next ingredient. It doesn't really matter. So there's my burgers, or my veggie burgers. And I had mentioned earlier in my video that I had some seeds left over. Actually, I'll put this over here. From the zucchini, and as I said, I don't throw anything out. So I'm just gonna break this open a little bit. And if I have a little bit of residue from this previous meal, which is my burgers, it's okay. It doesn't matter. In fact, if you wanted to, you can even do this and get all the yumminess in there. So one of the things that I do is I add oil, just a touch. And then I add some salt. Who doesn't like salted seeds? Mix that together. I'm just gonna try to separate it. And this will be a nice little sort of snack for myself. If I'm watching TV, which I don't usually, but if I am gonna watch some TV, then I will eat this as a little snack. I'm just tearing it apart because I really love it when it's kind of gooey, and that's what the dehydrator will do to this. It'll make the seeds crunchy and it will make this fleshy part of the zucchini gooey. So this is what's going in my dehydrator today. I've got my beautiful burgers and some beet balls, or should I call them beet burgers? I don't even know. We have to think of a name that doesn't really sound like ham or meat. If anybody can think of a new name for raw burgers, let me know. That would be so awesome. It would be rawsome. And then of course we have the zucchini seeds. So stay tuned. I'm putting this in the dehydrator, and then when they're done, I will continue. So now I'm going to check my dehydrator. It's been a couple of hours, and let's see how these veggie burgers have turned out. And I'm looking for the second time, because the first time that I looked, I flipped the burgers over so that both sides would be a little bit, have a little bit of a crust. Oh, so here are the seeds. I hope you can see these. I'll do a close-up later. And now for the burgers. And what I've done is I've already made the lettuce. I've only done one just to show you. And I put a orange, tomato, and avocado and some pickles on top. You can do whatever you like. If you want to make raw mustard, relish, mayo, you can do that. There's recipes for that. If you want to use your mainstream stuff, you can do that as well. Or put whatever condiments you want. If you want to put some sauerkraut on there. Anyway, let's see. Oh, wow. This is fabulous. I hope you can see this. I can actually pick them up. So beautiful. So I'm going to put one on top. You can put two. You can do 1.5. Whatever you want to do, go ahead and do. And then, as I said, I'm making the... I'm using the lettuce. You can use a head of lettuce, which is probably better. I just didn't have any at home, and I have some people coming over, so I have lots of leaf lettuce. I went to the market and got that. I didn't specifically buy lettuce for this burger. Oh my gosh, I hope I don't eat one before they come. Anyway, here it is. Look at this burger. I hope you can see it. It is yum, 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 raw. Amazing. So that's what I'm serving, and I will put the recipe below. Please like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know all my social medias. Anyway, have a raw amazing day.